I say, go around, and they do this. Did you see that nose yaw left? And that was actually perfect.
I'm Jason Miller, a full-time professional flight instructor. On the Finer Points channel, you can join me as I bring you tips and tricks that I've learned from 20 years on the flight line.
Hello aviators, welcome back to the Finer Points. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 errors that I see people make all the time when they do a go-around. A rejected landing is a really important maneuver. It's when you say, I'm not doing this, I need to add power, change from a landing configuration to a climb configuration, and get away from the ground as quickly and efficiently as possible. And there are a few errors you can make that can contribute to loss of control, which is one of the leading categories of fatal aircraft accidents. So to make sure that that's not going to be you should check out these 3 things that I see people do almost every day.
One gross error I sometimes see is people reaching for the flap handle before they add power. It's really important that you get air flowing over the wing and that you build up speed as you retract the flaps. And if you go for the flaps first, if you in a mechanical flap airplane, you'll sink pretty dramatically. And even in an airplane equipped with electric flaps, like the Cessna I'm flying, you will still experience sink because the airplane needs speed and angle of attack to achieve the same amount of lift. So you just want to get that power in there, get air flowing over the wing, and reduce the flaps, retract the flaps in stages. Go straight to 10, count for a few seconds, build up some speed, and go up to 0 from there.
All right, so here's the first common error, really gross error when people are going around. Don't do this. Go around and go flaps first. Do not reach for flaps first. It's always power first, flaps second, and climb away.
Probably the most common error I see is people not controlling the yaw of the airplane as they add power. And this is pretty important because if for some reason you were to get slow and stall and you're yawing as you pitch up to start the climb, if you were to stall, you could spin, and that low to the ground, that's usually fatal. So it's really important that you're controlling the yaw of the airplane by adding right rudder when you add power. When you do that, when you add power, the spiraling slipstream around the airplane just hits the rudder on the left side and yaws the nose to the left. So it's important to have good sight picture, eyes outside, and control the yaw of the airplane with your right foot.
All right, and as I turn in here, I am a mile high. All right, so I turned in early. I'm going to show you the second error that people make. If I don't use rudder, watch the nose when I bring power in. This is the second mistake I see people make. I say, go around, and they do this. Did you see that nose yaw left? And that was actually perfect because what people do is they jam that power in. Now that's 0 power to 180 horsepower and it pulls the nose left. It just yaws you left. And you heard the stall horn there, right? So what happens if you're yawing and stalling at the same time? Pop quiz, yawing, stalling at the same time, you spin, right? So that's why that is a dangerous moment for loss of control accidents. It's entirely solved by connecting your right foot to your right hand. When you add power, your right foot has to come in to control that yaw. If your right foot doesn't come in to control that yaw, you're just missing one of the core fundamentals of rudder use. That is, when you add power, you add right rudder in a single engine airplane, period. Especially in a go-around when you're going from 0 power to full power.
Okay, sometimes you can get so distracted doing all of that you forget to transition to the climb. So just remember, airspeed is airspeed. When you see your best rate of climb or anything close to it, you're pitching into that and climb away from the ground. Altitude is your friend, so you want to put some altitude in the bank as soon as possible.
This right here is the last thing I see people do. This is slightly subtle, but what I'm going to show you here is how people add power. They start to bring up the flaps, but they fail to pitch into VY, so they just don't start climbing away from the ground fast enough. The whole point in a go-around, right, is to get up, back to altitude, put that 1,000 feet back in the bank. But often I see people do stuff like this, and let's show you here. This time I'll control the yaw, by the way. So I say, go around, I yaw, go flaps, and then I see this kind of like just sort of hovering here, right, above the runway. Hovering here above the runway. What are we doing? I've got 85 knots, 90 knots. When you're going around, add right rudder, pitch back into your best rate of climb, something that's going to put 1,000 feet of altitude in the bank for you. in the event that you need it later, like if you have an engine failure here and you have to pitch forward and glide. All right, so there's 3 common errors that I see all the time in this critical maneuver, the go-around, the rejected landing. And in some cases, like reaching for the flaps first or not controlling the yaw, these types of errors can contribute directly to a loss of control accident. But not for you, because you saw this video and you're gonna go practice that.
All right, you guys, there you go. Those are 3 mistakes I see people make all the time when executing a go-around. Some of those mistakes can be serious and lead to fatal accidents. Others, just sloppy airmanship, cause you to fail a check ride. But either way, think about, next time you go out to fly, you're probably a little rusty. Think about the go-around as your default. Just practice a go-around once or twice. Make sure it's power before flaps. Make sure your right foot comes in with the power application, and make sure you quickly and, well, not quickly, but efficiently transfer the airplane from a landing configuration into a best rate of climb to put 1,000 feet in the bank and get that altitude beneath you. Huge thanks to the sponsors for their support of this show, AOPA Pilot Protection Services. When you renew your AOPA membership, just hit that Pilot Protection Services and add that to your membership. It'll be huge if you ever need it. Also, a huge thanks to the patrons for the complete archive of the Instagram lives that were going on during quarantine. Go to patreon.com. There's also lots of extra content going there all the time, and it's a great way to support the Finer Points. If you haven't yet come to the website, learnthefinerpoints.com, do that to get your free gift video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. I'm Jason Miller, and until next time, be safe and fly your best.